Thanks for the introduction, Hedley. Also, thanks for Lion's ongoing support, and thanks everyone for your time this afternoon. Look, Antipa is an extremely well-funded ASX-listed company whose value is underpinned by a resource base of 3 million gold equivalent ounces and a very significant standalone Australian gold development opportunity. Our district-scale Paterson Province portfolio, shown here in yellow, covers over 4,000 square kilometres of Western Australia. And it provides both development and discovery leverage by combining our advanced 100% owned Minyari Dome gold development opportunity with high impact exploration upside, exposing investors to both near-term and longer-term value catalysts. It's important to note there's only really 3 material players in this province, or in this region of that province. That's Antipa, Rio Tinto in the pink, and Greatland Gold in the purple and light blue. With over $60 million in the bank, our major and aggressive drill programs and ongoing pre-feasibility study are fully funded. In fact, we're funded to completion of a definitive feasibility study. In terms of the opportunity in the province over the last decade, the Paterson has delivered discoveries from greenfield exploration totalling 20 million ounces of gold, 3.4 million tonnes of copper, and 60 million ounces of silver. And that discovery trend will continue for several decades into the future. The province now boasts 3 large-scale gold, copper, silver development projects, including Antipa's Minyari Dome. There has been some M&A activity in the area, including Newmont selling Telfer and its share of Javier onto Greatland Gold last December. And as I think someone mentioned, there's been a fair bit of market speculation as to how Greatland will fill that massive Telfer gold plant, which is surrounded by Antipa. Our market cap, it's about $410 million, making us a multi-bagger since May last year, which coincidentally is the time when Lion became a shareholder. So Hedley's not just a pretty face, and Robin's got a little bit to do with that, I guess. But we've got 5 brokers, and they all think there's a few more bags to fill. Their EZY research price targets range from $1 to $1.50. Our register's been maturing in the last 12 months, and now over 40% of the register is held by institutions. Our Minyari project hosts a mineral resource of 2.5 million ounces of gold at 1.5 grams per tonne, plus some copper, silver and cobalt. In the coming weeks, the market will be informed of a resource increase based on this year's available drill results. Our Minyari Dome October 2024 scoping study confirmed the exceptional development potential for a significant standalone gold operation, boasting a mining inventory of 1.5 million ounces of gold at 1.5 grams per tonne. The project's initial processing life is 10 plus years at a throughput of 3 million tonnes per annum, producing an impressive average of 130,000 ounces per annum for the first 10 years, at an all-in sustaining cost of just 1,721 Australian dollars per ounce. The base case used a gold price of just 3,000 Australian dollars an ounce, and that generated an NPV at 7%, pre-tax of $834 million at an internal rate of return of 52%. Post-tax, the NPV was $600 million and the IRR was 46%, and payback for the $306 million worth of capital was 2 years. Now, if you use 5,000 Australian dollars an ounce, and we won't be using that for the PFS, but if you had that opportunity, the project has a pre-tax NPV of $2.6 billion at an IRR of 130%, and post-tax, the NPV was $1.8 billion at an IRR of 110%, with the capital paid off in 9 months. Minyari happens to be strategically located within trucking distance of Greatland's Telfer 22 million tonne per annum processing facility, which is the 3rd largest gold plant in Australia. Greatland have forecast that by mid-2027, they'll be using approximately 30% of that plant's capacity. So we're not sure where this underutilisation will take Greatland or lead Greatland, but it does appear to provide Antipa with some Minyari development optionality, shall we say. Minyari Dome is today one of the top 4 or 5 gold development projects in Australia. Looks like I've just been threatened with a line selection clock. One of the top 4 or 5 gold development projects in Australia in both terms of technical and economic credentials. And the gold price run has obviously made that even more compelling. We're working our way through the pre-feasibility study, and it's on track to be completed around August of next year. Look, on the near-term value catalyst front, Antipa is running concurrent resource growth and discovery-focused drill programs with approximately 65,000 metres of drilling being completed this year, testing 15 targets. Recent drilling at Fiamma, which this cross-section is for, delivered bonanza gold intersections close to surface in a new extremely high-grade zone, with the mineralisation open in multiple directions. We hit 33 metres at 15.8 grams per tonne and 23 metres at 7.1 grams per tonne in this area, and there's further drilling results to come. In wrapping up, Antipa is emerging as a potential significant gold copper business with multiple re-rate catalysts in a region which is emerging as Australia's next prolific mining province. And with a significant amount of bonanza, near-surface high-grade gold hits, a large pipeline of quality exploration targets, and a proven path to development, we believe that we remain a very compelling investment opportunity in the gold space. Thanks for your time.
You might just have to grab the bat down there, Rog, because I let it out of my sight. Well, you can stay in the Australian team if you want. Yeah, I don't know what you have to do to get dropped from Australia, but it's a lot easier to stay in than the community clubs. Rog, I know you get asked a lot of questions about your neighbour, Greatland Gold, and you must get pretty sick of those. But I think in honesty, the fact that people are extremely complimentary by asking is because they think you've got something pretty special and they want to speculate about what it's going to mean in the area. First of all, it probably indicates that the asset's desirable, close to Greatland, so, big tick. I want to be a bit different though. You look like you're the, if not one of the dominant landholders in the Paterson. And that area is, it's had more heart-throbbing discoveries in Australia than any other jurisdiction that you look at, particularly within Australia, but globally as well in the last 20 years. You've got Rio that's found Winu, Greatland found Havieron. I think they're both on ex-Newcrest ground, interestingly enough, but too bad for them. And you've got your Minyari. I just would like to know from you, how well mineralised do you think this region is? And I know there's deep and shallow, but if you had all the shackles taken off, is this an area where there's nothing more to find? Could there be 10? Could there be 100? Are they big or are they small? Have a crack at that.
No worries, hold on.
Over the fence, he's scooped me like that Greek fella.
Good question, Hedley. The province itself, Antipa was a first mover into this region back in 2011, and the reason we went in was that it was elephant country, only had essentially 2 mines, Telfer, pre-mining, 32 million ounces of gold, million tonnes of copper. Discovered in 1972. Nifty, probably, depends what you believe from Cyprian, but 2 to 3 million tonnes of copper, pre-mining, discovered 1985. And that was it. There wasn't any others. And the groups that were in there back in the early days had picked over the subcropping and outcropping areas very thoroughly, but the areas that were under cover, which is all of this ground up through here, had largely been neglected. So it was a really simple strategy. It wasn't rocket science. We've had, close to 40 years of development in technologies, be they geophysical, be they geochemical, and that can be applied to the covered areas. We built up the portfolio with shallow cover, and we've just focused on making discoveries in that. We're now unshackled. The projects were recombined around April this year. In fact, 3,000 of the 4,000 square Ks only came back to us in April, and we did a capital raise in June to allow us to both de-risk the development opportunity here, but continue to vigorously explore for greenfield discoveries. And that'll continue on, as I said, for decades to come.